Hi, I'm Sian Edwards, and I've been working as a freelance conductor for years now, probably about 30 years. I learnt the French horn and the piano. I played in lots of youth orchestras and had a wonderful time socially, actually, as well as musically. And then I went on to study music. I do know there are some people who just wake up one morning and go, that's it, I'm going to do it. But for me, actually, I started as a kid, age 15 or something. I got fairly competent on the horn. And so I was the kind of kid in the orchestra when the conductor needed to fix something with the strings. They'd say, oh, Sian, could you just run through something with the winds? And I'd love to do that, actually. And that was a marvelous start. But it wasn't really until quite a lot later that I think I felt right, now I begin to realize that I could be a conductor. And I think partly, when you're young, and at that period, the sort of white-haired carry-ons were the sort of beacon of the conducting world. And Simon Rattle had just got going and was, really showing the world that you could be young and enthusiastic, and you didn't have to have all this phenomenal sort of erudite wisdom to actually make an impact and make people enjoy working with you and so on. I was thinking so much about this because I think as soon as you start thinking about leading an ensemble, even if it's just two flutes, and no matter how junior the players are, I'm sure, everybody feels a great responsibility both to allow the music to actually be successful, if you like, but also that through it, the young players feel positive and have a good experience, because I think we all know what it's like to have been in an ensemble where the conductor got cross or things didn't work out or it didn't sound well, and you just feel terribly sad and, down as a young player as well as the conductor concerned. I think my first thing would be just to say, just remember that, music is all about breath, actually, and breathing, and your first in-breath and then how you're going to start the music is going to have so much influence in terms of how the music's going to sound, even if the children aren't really watching you at first. And I think that's a great basis for both the players and the conductors to start off from. Whether you're a string player or keyboard player, whatever, that sense of an in-breath and then starting. Even if you're going to start on an upbeat, actually, there's still an in-breath before the preparation to that. And I think that centers us a little bit and makes us realize that we're all coming from a very fundamental human place, if you like, and that I think unifies everybody straight away. If you are playing an instrument, it's great to be playing with other people, and I think sometimes orchestras can seem very noisy and a bit disorganized and the sound isn't in tune, and so it can be quite a hard thing to get started with. But as soon as you get used to the fact that you're part of a group and together you're going to actually get something in the end that's really going to make you proud, I think it's a wonderful journey to be on. And I would say also that I think a very important part for everybody's music making is the social side, and the fact that one of the lovely things when I was starting out was the fact that you met people from different schools or you met people from different year groups, because that's one of the brilliant things about music, actually, is that it cuts right through all those things that we think of, that person's too young to do this or too old to do that. And actually, as soon as you play music, all that goes away, because all that's important is, do you like the music and do you want to give your sound as part of a group of players? And so I think that's the lovely thing. And, please, everybody who is teetering on the brink, do give it a go, give it a try. I think that a lovely thing to do is to get anybody who's interested in being a director, or even anyone who's just finding it difficult sitting there and being part of the group, to do a little bit of the leading of it. I think that in the past we've perhaps, I say this about every area as well, those of us who are in any kind of leadership position tend to clutch to that and try to make everything better from that position, whereas sometimes just stepping back and say, okay, you have a go, see what that's like, and helping somebody else to get started At which point, hopefully they'll realize as well just how complicated it is, and just what a sort of wall of sound is coming towards you, and what you're trying to deal with. And interestingly, actually, in the more experienced orchestras, and certainly in professional orchestras, that sense of leadership is not only coming from the podium, but every section of the orchestra is divided into groups with a leader, and then a co-leader, and sub-leaders, and so on and so on. So the sense of each component group also having a leader is an important thing. So I think in that respect as well, allowing somebody who's got rather good on the flute, for example, to sit in the first flute seat, and then to have some control over how the other instruments in their group play, or even, the terribly difficult thing that we all find of getting everyone in tune, and how you perhaps can delegate that. I think we're still faced with a huge issue of how do we actually contact those children and young people who would like to play music, but who don't, have those first little steps easily available to them within a school setting, or their home circumstances are complex, and they themselves are struggling with day-to-day life. And I think that one of the wonderful things that NOFA does is reach out to those young people. And I think we need to do more of that on all levels, in all areas. So I'm enormously proud to be patron of Orchestras for All, because I think that this organisation, more than any I've come across, is actively trying to reach those children and young people who perhaps are the most difficult to find, and to invite into this world that I feel, and so many of my colleagues feel, is a tremendously nourishing and valuable world to be a part of, even if it's just for a few weeks a year. And I think that sharing of music and being part of a group that can work up a piece and play it together, and then discover actually that an audience is there who really appreciate what you've done, is a tremendous boost to everybody's psychology and feelings about, who they are as a person. And apart from anything else, I think orchestras are wonderful social things. They're great because you go there and then you begin to feel a little bit of responsibility that, you need to be able to play your notes so that everyone else can play their notes. And it makes you play your instrument better as well. And then your ears open up and you can hear all your friends around you playing. And I think it just enriches you and enriches everyone around you. And it's a wonderful thing to do. Unfortunately, in Britain, I think we are living in a time where society has become incredibly stratified, and it's been, of course, laid bare and for all to see during the COVID crisis, just how enormously different the lives of people who are struggling are compared to those who are doing well. And I think it's a tremendous shame, because, of course, we all know that every child and young person has that potential to be the person they want to be, and to be a really vibrant part of their communities, if only they had the opportunities to find out who they are and then take on the world in the way that they want to. And I think far too many people feel that they can't really move or do what they want, because so many things are pressing down on them and their families. And so I think anything like NOFA that can shine a little tiny light that says, come on, it's okay, try this, and we'll help you to become a part of something that can just lead into a bigger understanding of life around you, I think is a wonderful thing.